The consecutive defeats against Freiburg and Leverkusen signaled the end of Hoffenheim's dream of chasing a European competition spot next season. It came as no surprise that the team failed to clinch the spot based on recent performance. As I said, it should be the time to think about rebuilding the team. To be the number 8 in the Bundesliga doesn't sound bad. This is still within our expectation, though it sounds bitter to miss the Euro qualification. We should be proud of how our team performed in the 2/3 of the season, but the team is really breaking down in the recent months. A lot of problems have to be looked into. Should the coach be responsible for all the problems? Well, I share what our sporting director Mr. Rosen thinks about our boys' performance this season. There is something wrong in the team, both the defensive problems and the medical incompetence. Some fans may think that it is acceptable to get the 8th position, and we should not make a lot of criticism and complain about our coach and our boys. Well, if they played well and got the 8th, they deserve it. Obviously, this is not the case. The coach could do nothing about players' incapability in putting the ball into an empty net. However, he could try to motivate individual players and boost the team morale, but not only saying unrealistic messages to the media. And he should be able to reshuffle the defensive loopholes. There is no excuse to the long-term absence of Bikacic and Hübner. The players have its own responsibility, and they could not well execute the game plan throughout the 90 minutes. A very sporadic being displayed on the pitch does not help much. Back to Hoeneß. Does he really have a game plan? That is actually quite debatable. I would definitely not say no, but sometimes the team performance has been simply disappointing. Of course, our boys want to achieve something, and they are not playing against Hoeneß. It could not help them from falling apart defensively in a split seconds and committing serious mistakes and mispasses in the midfield area. They need the help from the coaching team, especially we should bring in the sports psychological experts who were not unfamiliar to some teams in the Bundesliga. Individual conversation and counseling with players should be needed after the end of this season. Sadly, some players have really been performing below par this season. The disappointed De Boer should have shown his physical and technical prowess, and Kamaric is not always at his best. Even he could not convert some easy goal-scoring opportunities. Not to mention moments of blunder from Baumgartner, Geiger, and even De Boer. And how could the coaching team further polish the talented Jorginho Rutter? He is still only a great bench player, but not so much as a starter. Those problems could actually be properly addressed by the coach during and after the daily training session. Let me reiterate that our squad is full of possibilities and flexibility. Our team is far from having a good playing strategy. Starting from March, Hoffenheim refused to show its true color again. Do you think it is good enough for a team to perform brilliantly just for 15 to 20 minutes per match? How about other 17 minutes? Roaming, dreaming, and idling on the pitch really makes things worse. Another problem lies with the medical issues. Our medical department should conclude what they did in the past 2 seasons. Why were this season with so many injuries, long and sustained injuries, were affecting our squad? Does it really take 1 or 2 seasons for our players to fully recover from ACL or ankle injuries? It is difficult to understand for such unprofessional treatment given to our boys, provided that we have ample resources. Is there something going wrong to our medical team who do not even know how to deal with the set of standard injuries? It is very sad to see Pikachu, Hurtner, Carterback, and Robert Scott suffering from long-term and continuous injury. I am not talking about resigning the coach nor thinking Hurtner deserves a long-term placement. It is the time to rebuild our team but not necessarily changing the coach at first. Mr. Hurtner should initiate a sincere discussion with Mr. Rosen and Mr. Hope and look for common grounds or re-energizing the team. If no good solution or common goals are to be found, it should be the time to say goodbye to Hurtner. You know, changing the coach frequently is definitely not a desirable option. Our team could not be re-established successfully once again after the Nagelsmann era, and so to the ultimate goal of being in the top 6. We simply do not want to raise our young talent squad again and would like to develop them to the fullest. Adding to the squad next season, we already have the attacking midfield and the under-21 German international Finn Becker from St. Pauli and the pragmatic Grisa Promel from Union Berlin. Watch out for Promel. He should become a very important linkage between the defensive and offensive areas. Yesterday we also heard the news of looking for a new centre-back, Merton Dardai from Hertha Berlin. Well, he may be another good solution to our defensive issue too. We could see Mr. Rosen tried his best to back Hurtner up. But this is not a good sign as the tradition wisdom tells us that this is a kind of dead kids. I just simply do not want Hurtner to raise the new incoming players as I mentioned above. If something is going wrong at the beginning of next season, we will be fighting for relegation and conclude with a disastrous end. I am not trying to frighten all of you, but we have been really stands at the end of this season. This short summer is really crucial to our forthcoming development. It is a time to rebuild, a time to plan. Thanks for listening to this episode. Let's see what we are going to talk about for the next episode. See you then.